Good evening. I'm Melissa Dunbar Gates with St. George News at 8. Scott Beadle has the night off. A 2-year-old girl went missing from a St. George residence in the middle of the night Sunday, prompting a large multi-agency search. At approximately 3 a.m. Monday, St. George police officers responded to 2580 East in St. George after it was reported that a 2-year-old girl was missing. Officers say the child was put to bed and somehow wandered off. After an extensive 3-hour search, the girl was found in a field. Officers say she was huddled on the ground for warmth, but was in good health. She was taken home and reunited with her mother, whom the girl was reportedly very excited to see. A 9-year-old boy on a motorcycle collided with a truck in Enterprise Monday afternoon. He was flown to Dixie Regional Medical Center in critical condition. Police say the incident happened at 12:30 p.m. on East Main Street. The child was riding a Suzuki off-road motorcycle when he collided with a Ford pickup truck. A 36-year-old man was driving that truck. The accident is still under investigation. At this point, neither alcohol nor drugs are suspected to be factors. The child was wearing a helmet. 2 vehicles collided on a curve in Santa Clara Monday morning, leaving both drivers injured and an SUV and a pickup truck heavily damaged. It happened around 10:30 on Santa Clara Drive between the Jacob Hamblin home and Swiss Village. A Honda appeared to have been heading west before the crash. However, the force of the impact pushed both vehicles up and over a curb. A Ford ended up even straddling the sidewalk. Both drivers were taken to the hospital. That crash is also still under investigation. 3 crashes involving multiple vehicles and triggered by high winds and low visibility closed State Route 21 Sunday. Wind gusts were also responsible for blowing the roof off a barn in that area. A 3-vehicle pileup happened at 6:30 p.m. when high winds and dust blew through the area, reducing visibility. The first crash was reported as a head-on collision involving a semi-tractor trailer that was struck by a black SUV and then a pickup truck. The next incident happened when a car driving through the first accident scene struck debris in the highway and lost control. The occupants involved in the first crash sustained serious injuries and were taken to the hospital. As we've stated, high winds swept through much of Utah Sunday, causing property damage, car accidents, and uprooting trees. The National Weather Service in Salt Lake City issued multiple wind advisories for regions throughout the state over the weekend, warning of gusty crosswinds across the state's highways. Among the worst of the reported damage was a pileup on State Route 21 near Milford involving 6 vehicles, including 2 semi-tractor trailers, and resulting from sudden wind and dust, creating treacherous travel conditions. Despite promising a battle in court, President Trump conceded, throwing out his original travel ban and signing a new executive order today. That order takes effect in 10 days and suspends travel from now 6 Muslim-majority countries. Here is ABC's Janae Norman.
President Trump vowed to take the fight over his first travel ban to the Supreme Court, but ultimately decided to revoke that order, and today, behind closed doors, signed his new executive order that takes effect March 16th.
While no system can be made completely infallible, the American people can have high confidence we are identifying ways to improve the vetting process and thus keep terrorists from entering our country.
So what's new? For starters, Syrian refugees are no longer singled out with an indefinite ban. The order no longer makes exceptions for religious minorities, and it explicitly does not impact dual citizens and those with valid U.S. visas. But the new order suspends the entire refugee program for 4 months. And while Iraq has been removed from the list, there are still 6 majority Muslim countries where travel to the U.S. is banned for 90 days. The Attorney General says there's good reason to block foreign nationals from Sudan, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia, and Yemen.
3 of these nations are state sponsors of terrorism. The other 3 have served as safe havens for terrorist countries where governments have lost control of their territory to terrorist groups like ISIL or Al-Qaeda and its affiliates.
Still, critics say the order does nothing to improve national security.
Is still mean-spirited, misguided, and in my judgment, goes against what America's all about.
The FBI is helping police in Washington state investigate a possible hate crime. Authorities say a suspect told the father of 2, quote, go back to your own country before opening fire in the man's own driveway Friday night. Harji Singh, the victim's cousin, says the community is still in fear and disbelief.
It's still a shock for him, and it's still a shock for us, also for the whole community.
The husband and father, identified as Deep Racine, is expected to recover. The 39-year-old was wearing a turban while working on his car when the gunman walked up to him. No arrests have been made. Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers is in next with your southern Utah forecast. Stay with us.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Monday evening to you. A little bit cooler out there today than we saw over the weekend. Over the weekend, we had highs in the 60s here in parts of southern Utah. Today, back into the mid-50s, still above average for this time of year, and a little windy out there as well. Saw a high 54 degrees in St. George, 56 degrees down in Las Vegas, 40 degrees in Cedar City late this afternoon, and 54 degrees a high today over in Hurricane. As you take a look at our forecast, and as we head into our Tuesday for your Cedar City forecast, we're going to see temperatures a little bit warmer, getting back at least into the mid-50s as we head into Cedar City for your Tuesday afternoon. Partly to mostly sunny skies expected, with those temperatures starting in the 20s though, so it will be a chilly start to the day. But by afternoon, seeing that high reach about 54 degrees. Now St. George will see temperatures once again in the low 60s, so a nice little warm up for our Tuesday. Partly to mostly sunny skies. We start in the mid-30s, and then by the afternoon hours, should see those temperatures get into the low 60s across parts of southern Utah. So what else can we expect to see? Well, not quite as breezy, but definitely seeing more sunshine and more warmer weather in the forecast as we head to our Tuesday. As we get into the middle part of the work week, then still seeing some chilly starts to our days, as in the higher elevations around Cedar City, we're seeing those low temperatures into the 20s, but around southern Utah, basically low to mid 30s as we start the day here next several days anyway. But by afternoon, we warm pretty nicely, getting into the 60s with sunshine continuing through the middle part of the work week. One thing we'll notice too is some dry weather continuing as well. Even by the end of the work week, we'll see those temperatures staying on the warmer side, keeping the warming trend going right into the upcoming weekend, but also keeping the dry weather around too. Looks like the dry weather continues with us as we head into not only tomorrow, but really through the rest of the work week and right into that upcoming weekend. So our surface map, again, for southern parts of Utah, just showing a warming trend here as we head through the next couple of days, seeing some warmer weather make its way right out of California into parts of southern Nevada, and then getting here into southern parts of Utah throughout the day. On our Tuesday, that should put our high temperatures back into the 50s and 60s, well above where it should be for this time of year. Before tonight, we'll see those temperatures again drop off into the 30s from Hurricane to Mesquite to even St. George at 35 degrees by tomorrow morning. Mainly clear skies. Cedar City down into the 20s, so definitely a chilly start to our Tuesday. But by the afternoon hours, we get back into the 60s, at least mid to upper 60s from St. George to Mesquite to Hurricane. Again, seeing mostly sunny skies. Cedar City even seeing a nice recovery from the 20s back into the 50s. We'll go for a high 54 degrees in Cedar City for our Tuesday. Now, 7-day forecast for Cedar City does show temperatures once again into the 60s for the middle part of the work week. 63 degrees a high by Wednesday, then close to 70 in Cedar City by the time we get to Thursday and Friday. Even in the weekend, again, a lot of dry weather, a lot of warm weather continuing. Overnight lows back in the 30s then as we head to Cedar City. Now, southern Utah down St. George area will be in the 70s. Looking for highs reaching about 72 degrees by Wednesday. Could be as warm as 78 by Friday, with lots of warm weather continuing. Even the weekend looking very nice, with high temperatures staying in the mid-70s to even upper 70s through Saturday and Sunday. And overnight lows by the weekend into the upper 40s to low 50s. So some beautiful weather this time of year. Again, seeing those temperatures well above average, along with the dry weather continuing too as we head through the next 7 days.
All right, Chris, thank you. Looks gorgeous. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Be a gorgeous warm week to be outside.
Yeah, actually all week we're going to be looking at some pretty nice temperatures anywhere across southern Utah. Temperatures well above where they should be. Here's your 7-day forecast for Cedar City. Again, into the 50s for your Tuesday. Low to mid 60s return for the end of the work week. We'll keep those mid 60s around as we head into the weekend. Some 20s overnight though, Tuesday and Wednesday, but then back in the low 30s by the weekend for overnight lows. Now St. George, even a little bit warmer. Southern Utah seeing temperatures into the mid to upper 70s. Could be as warm as 78 degrees by Friday. Again, seeing lots of sunshine and dry weather continue over the next 7 days. Get out and enjoy that nice weather.
All right, Chris, thank you. And thanks for watching. Have a great night.